So since we've done
Showing off, don't wanna have to wait tonight. Wait tonight.
Hi, I'm back again. If you're just now subscribing or watching this as your first video, welcome to Triple Threat. So I posted on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and I'm pretty sure all of the social medias that I have what you guys wanted my next video to be. So, drum roll please. My labor and delivery story. So my labor and delivery was a little bit different. I do have twins. They are 10 months old. They will be a year old on the 1st of July. So pretty much the way that all worked was I was scheduled for a C-section. I think the third. Yeah, the third. I was scheduled for the C-section July 3rd. And I ended up having them July 1st. Here's the craziest part. I did not know I was in labor. So I went into the hospital 7 centimeters dilated. Yes, let me repeat that one more time for y'all. I did not know that I was in labor, and I ended up going into the hospital at 7 centimeters dilated. I did have a cesarean for them. So if I would have ended up having them vaginally, I would have not been able to have an epidural. I would have had to go straight into the living room because I was already 7 centimeters dilated. So here is that story. If you would like to hear it, you should like, comment, subscribe. Since we have already gone through and done a little bit of an intro, and y'all already know that apparently I have superpowers, and as my OB says, I am a freak of nature. I want to tell you guys the story. So pretty much the night before, I had so there's this thing, it's called your mucus plug. If some of you don't know, it's called your mucus plug, and it comes out right before you're about to have maybe not even right before, maybe like a week before. So once it's gone, it's pretty much you're getting ready for labor. So I didn't know if that was what really was coming out. I don't want this to be super graphic, but I obviously have to tell parts of the story. So apparently that left me. That came out. And then I didn't know. Apparently my water also broke. So with my twins, there's a way. So I had die twins is what they call them. They had 2 placentas and 2 sacs, like 2 embryonic sacs. So pretty much what it was, my mucus plug could come out for one. So pretty much my water could break for both, or my water could break for one and then it would force the other one. Like that's kind of the way that it would work. It's very, very confusing, and I still don't know everything about it, and I had them, almost 11 months ago. So pretty much the way that worked was, there was fluid, but at that time I am 36 weeks pregnant. So I'll put a picture in this video of how ginormous I was. When I tell you, I literally could not. I hadn't seen my feet for a couple months. I hadn't, seen my legs, nothing. Shaving didn't happen. I did not care. So unless I was sitting crisscross, that was the only way that I could see my legs. My belly was huge. Anyone that knew me during that time, if we were remotely friends, everyone knew how huge I was. I couldn't wear normal shirts. I literally couldn't do anything. But anywho, that's a total side note. But so I'm horribly uncomfortable. I have to pee every 2 seconds. The children are laying on my bladder. They are having a grand old time in my bladder. So I have absolutely no clue. So, I'm thinking, I just had, there's fluid. There's constantly fluid. You're a pregnant woman. There's fluid down there going on all the time. So I don't think anything of it. So fast forward to the morning that they were born. I am, going about my day, doing everything like it's normal. I'm in a summer class. So I'm taking the summer class, doing everything that I'm supposed to. So my class, I started getting contractions, which I didn't realize were contractions, at around about 7 a.m., maybe 8. I have an extremely high pain tolerance, like to the point of where I had strep when I was in 4th grade, and I ended up getting scarlet fever, and we didn't know I had strep for like 2 weeks because my pain tolerance is that high. So if that doesn't tell you anything, that's pretty much what it was. I had an extremely high pain tolerance. So me going into labor originally, I was like, oh, I'm a little bit uncomfortable. I went into preterm labor at 27 weeks. So I had already been, warned of all this stuff and, everything like that. When I was told about labor, when all of the women tell you about, your contractions and everything like that, they tell you it is the worst pain of your life. Like you are on the operating table. They're opening you up without any morphine, nothing. You're dying practically. So this is what I'm thinking in my brain, this is how it's going to feel. So when I was a little bit uncomfortable, I'm thinking the twins are moving around, everything like that. I sat in the bathtub. So I'm sitting in a warm bath because that normally would calm them down. There would be sometimes, if I ate something or something like that, or if I didn't eat because I really hadn't eaten that morning. If I didn't eat anything like that. So this is on the 1st. My C-section was supposed to be on the 3rd. Just another part of the backstory. So this is the 1st. I'm like, I'm really uncomfortable. I'm really in pain. Like, this is awful. So I'm like laying in my bed, like practically hauled over dying. So then I'm like, I'm gonna call, over to my OB's office. So I called over to my OB's office, and they were like, all right, track your contractions. See if they're a certain amount of minutes apart. I think it's like 4 minutes, something like that. Then you need to go and get yourself checked into the hospital. So we get to that point. I am on my way to the hospital, going to the hospital. So we get to the hospital. So they check me in, get everything squared away. They put me in triage, and they're like, all right, well, we're going to monitor the babies, monitor your heart, get everything good. So then they monitor, they're monitoring their movement, monitoring my heart, and they're like, did you just feel that? I'm like, did I just feel what? Am I supposed to be feeling something? Am I missing a feeling that I'm getting? Like, that is the most terrifying feeling on the planet, especially for a person that, like, has a really, really high pain tolerance and everything like that. When you go, oh, did you feel that? And I felt nothing? That's scary. So I was like, no, I didn't feel anything. I said my stomach got a little bit tight and it was a little bit uncomfortable. They were like, you just had a contraction and it was strong. So I was like, okay. So they're like, well, let's check and see, because I was already 1.5 centimeters to 2 centimeters dilated from, just from going for routine checks every week and doing everything like that. So they went to check me, and the nurse goes, you're 7 centimeters. You're 7 to 8 centimeters. So I was like, huh? So she's like, okay, let me get another nurse. I may be measuring wrong, like these things can happen. So at this point, my body goes into shutdown mode. Like, I feel like I'm going to vomit. I feel so sick. Like, my body can like barely take this anymore. So then the other nurse comes in. They give me an anti-nausea pack on the back of my ear, everything like that. They start coming in to do all my paperwork and everything like that. I had a lot of it done already because I knew, obviously, that I was going to be having a twin soon. And because I went into preterm, they had already gotten all of my appointments and stuff. And they had done all of that stuff to where, like doing all of the, like, oh, are you going to deliver here? Or this is what we're going to do. Letting me know all of the things, that would happen when I got checked in and when everyone came in and everything like that. So a lot of my paperwork was already done, but there's a couple other things that they still have to have you sign and stuff. So then there's a second nurse that comes in. This nurse, she's like, okay, sweetie, we're going to check you. She was like a little bit of an older lady, and she knew that I was young. So she was so sweet. So she literally checks me and goes, oh my goodness, you're 7 centimeters. And I was like, oh, okay. So at this point, my OB is not an on-call OB. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. She was on call at the time, but if she wasn't on call, it wasn't a type of thing of where like you call her and she immediately comes. You get delivered by whoever is on call. So our biggest fear was she was not going to be on call when I had the twins, because I have multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is pretty much an autoimmune disorder. You know, I'm doing okay, if anyone's wondering. But fast forward. So we're going through, and you know, with the way the anesthesiology was going to have to be done and everything like that, I was super worried about it, because there's a lot of, you know, like research and everything about anesthesia done with people with multiple sclerosis, and, you know, having them relapse and doing all of this stuff. So they were like, all right, are you going to do anesthesia? Are you going to do, like, how are we going to do this? And I said, I want typical anesthesia. I said, I'm perfectly fine with it. They were like, all right, we'll send down the head of anesthesia. So the head of anesthesia is down there with me, and he's like, all right, we're going to get through this. Like, we're going to do this together. Like, he was absolutely amazing. The sweetest man I have ever met in my entire life. I wish I knew his name so that I can, like, say it in this video, because that is how sweet and kind he was. He took all my pictures. He literally, everything that I have from that day that is within that range of an hour, sweetest thing on the planet. And his bet was that they were a boy and a girl, and he was right. I didn't find out their genders, so he was right on their bet, because they are a boy and a girl. So that happened, and, you know, we went through all of that.